Hey, hello there folks, me RJB from RJB TV, returning to you yet again with some StarCraft Brood War Remastered on fastest map, and this time around we're going back to Kuangai. It's my little correction there, I used to say Kuangai, but someone in the comments told me it's Kuangai. You say Kuang and then I at the end, Kuangai. Then we have Brain, you're on the other end of the map on the Protoss, so Protoss for Brain, Terran for Kuangai. So in the previous video set that these two played in, it didn't go that well for one of these two players. I'm not going to reveal which one of these two, but let's just say that the results were not quite as expected. Not quite as expected at all. And Kuangai is actually doing a build order that I find very weird and that I definitely do not agree with in any way whatsoever. But that supply depot looks to be coming up perhaps just on time. Perhaps just on time. Perhaps just on time. It's an interesting build order. Like, this is different from what I usually see players do when they go for a fast factory build order. And I do think that this is going to result in a very fast first factory for Kuangai, but it does cost him an entire SCV in build time. Like, he's missing one SCV, an entire SCV behind on where Brain is at. But the very first factory is going to be coming out rather fast. Look at this, there it already is, a very fast first factory, perhaps the fastest factory build order that you can probably find anywhere. So I might use this specifically, and then he's gonna keep mining with a single one so that he will have 100 gas and 200 minerals at pretty much about the same time. Like, yeah, it's not exactly the same time. Like, it's a slight little disconnect. But there is factory number 2, so a double factory build order there from Kuangai, puts another SCV back to work and starts a supply depot, and puts SCV number 3 back to mining gas again. And that is to catch up on losing that one single SCV earlier, because that means he has less minerals now than if he did not get that supply depot as late as he did. So now he caught up the minerals he lost by pulling 2 SCVs off the gas, putting them on the minerals. And now he's all back in order again. He might go for factory number 3, although I don't see it happening right there at the moment. He might build it right at the top. The probe is there running back and forth, going to try to disrupt the construction of that. And Brain there went for Nexus first into a Forge, Gateway, double gas, Cybercore, and 2 more gateways. He has 2 cannons in the front, quite a safe opening. They're cross map all the way from across each other, which does mean that Brain probably cannot reliably go for some real gateway aggression, but he might have some build orders up his sleeve that might allow him to still get some gateway aggression in on Kuangai. Now, Brain did some pretty interesting stuff. He denies the ability to build a second command center there by building a pylon on the bottom. Also keeps vision of Kuangai's base. Sees there's a double refinery. Double refinery this early on into the game is quite risky because now you have 6 SCVs mining gas, which only leaves you about 9 or 10 SCVs to mine the minerals. Like, there's almost no minerals coming into the bank. Also, this other pylon blocks the machine shop, which forces him to lift and move it to the side, which might ruin his build order SimCity later on into the game. So he finds the choke there. Brain is going for Dragoons and Singularity Charge, and he is delaying the robotics. He is maybe planning to go for a counter Vulture strategy, and because he can see the information from this base with the pylon, he knows that there's not a lot of vultures, and he's actually making tanks, not mines. I was expecting mines first, but it's going to be siege mode first. But these Dragoons are going to be hunting down the tank, and if he plays this well, the Dragoons will kill the tank. The tank is trying to run away. This one gets blocked there, it gets stuck. So maybe, yeah, the tank is going to die. He just has to catch up a little bit faster. There it goes. And the Vultures are terrible against Dragoons, but he's going to try to buy some time by running the Dragoon all the way to the bottom to force the Vultures to chase it down and build as much distance to his choke point as possible to isolate the tank on the middle from the Vultures and then kill the tank. This is a big mistake from Kuangai. Brain is countering this build order from Kuangai pretty well. That's all because he has so much vision from the 2 pylons in Kuangai's base. Brain is playing this really nicely. He added on another Nexus at the back. Got no Robo on the way just yet. He's still focusing on just Dragoons, going for a very early Stargate and adding on 2 more simulators. He's going for an interesting build order that I surely was not expecting. He has triple Stargate. He might go for very fast carriers. 4 Stargates. Fast carriers it will be. This is fast carriers. You literally do not do this unless you're planning to go for carriers without drops, without anything else. The Dragoons here, they effectively stopped the offensive potential that Kuangai had. Now Kuangai added on a third factory. We already saw that one. He has a very fast starport. He's going for a science facility. That science facility is very fast. He does not need it this fast. He does not. Would have been better for him to spend that exact gas on other stuff. He's going for a drop ship there, though. He's going to probably go for a tank drop. But the very fast science facility, I do not agree with it. Because you only need the science facility after you get the armory upgrade level 1 finished for your tanks. Until then, you do not need the science facility. Until then, it's a waste of money. And guess what? He does not have a lot of money because he went for the very fast double refinery. His minerals are low, specifically compared to Brain's minerals. Brain knows because Brain had the pylons here in the base. And based off of seeing that it's only a single command center, Brain decided to go for triple Nexus because he no longer has any fear of getting attacked after killing 3 tanks on the middle and a couple vultures. Brain is feeling very safe. Brain is in an amazing position, and Kuangai only just now at 6:45 gets 2 more command centers, which are not going to be effective up until 7 minutes. So Kuangai will be behind by probably 40 workers by the 8-minute mark. These command centers are very, very late. His army is very, very small, and Brain can just kind of speed run straight towards carriers, and Kuangai will not be able to do much about it. A couple more Dragoons are arriving on the scene, going to take down the dropship. Unloads on the high ground. That was a very clutch, close unload, but these Dragoons will take down the tank, no problem. I mean, there are some problems, because every time it shoots, it's visible for like 1 second, then it leaves vision for another second. Like, look at this. You can shoot, and then it disappears from vision, and you can no longer shoot. It's annoying. So yeah, he takes it down, loses almost 2 Dragoons. A couple more waiting there in the front. We have scouts, not carriers, it's scouts. Oh my god, Brain is going for, I wouldn't say a bad manner strategy, but, you know, he wants to prove to everyone that he can do this and still win. Specifically after what happened last time. Mass scouts on the board. Getting scout speed, getting level 1 attack, getting another cyber core for level 1 armor, has to get the Citadel of Doom, and then of course a Tempest Archive for other purposes. But yeah, he is going for scouts, not what I was expecting in a match against someone who put up an amazing fight against him last time, but I really think that because he had the 2 pylons here, because he saw the very slow double command center that are being added on, he concluded that he could easily go for scouts because he would just be so far ahead. Like, he's already on 77 probes, Kuangai only on 46. He's so far behind economically. His supply is double, literally double of Kuangai. Now, Kuangai only has 3 Goliaths and a Wraith. He's going to take that down quite easily. Great D-Matrix before the vessel dies. That one is going to be hard to kill, so have to run away there. He should not be running away, just take the fight. Your Goliath is very, very strong with the D-Matrix. But there he goes, has to run away and die. So 7 scouts in the base, killing everything that they can. And there's literally really nothing much in the base that can properly defend against this. These scouts are stronger than they appear, stronger than you would think. 250 health, level 1 attack upgrade, so they do quite some damage against air and a little bit of damage against ground. They're kind of like Mutalisks. He's kind of like Mutalisk microing inside of Kuangai's base. The Goliaths are fighting back, but there's just so much health on these things. Well, the Goliaths do quite good damage there, though. They do quite good damage, but it's taken too long to take them down. I mean, they do die, and carriers are now on the way. So the scouts have served their purpose. They were there to buy time for the carriers, and we have not seen a single scan come down from Kuangai. Kuangai is playing in the darkness. He doesn't know. Scans are now on the way, but coming in very late. He's only in 48 SCVs. He's been delayed and slowed down way too much by his own choices, his own strategy. I don't think this is viable. I do not think this build order, specifically from Kuangai, is a viable one. We've seen him play Protoss. So perhaps he is a Protoss-only player, but this, so far, looks very mismatched with what Brain is doing. He sees the Stargates, sees 10 of them, but sees no carriers. He might be assuming it could be more scouts, but actually, it's going to be scouts, carriers, and gateway units. Dragoons and Zealots. Carriers coming in, ready to take down those tanks in the front, but it's only 5 carriers. The interceptors will die and melt pretty quickly. Will they be able to take down the tanks? Because the tanks have to get killed before these gateway units can properly get in there and start killing everything in sight. He makes his way in there. The upgrades are still on 0-0-0 for ground, whereas the air upgrades are currently on 1-0. The tanks are on 1-1, so the ground upgrades for Kuangai are definitely better, but the supply advantage for Brain is humongous, and the Goliaths have been taken down, which now means that the carriers kind of have a very free ability to attack and kill whatever they want, because there's only turrets and a single Valkyrie there to kill them. Now more Goliaths are on the way, and so is another single Valkyrie. But it's not enough. Also, I think Kuangai is mining too much gas. He's got 6 refineries running on 63 SCVs. You can see it in his bank standings, like very low minerals, quite high gas. He cannot spend the gas fast enough because he lacks the minerals to spend all of it. What he needs is more starports, more SCVs on the minerals. He needs to speed this thing up. So there he comes in with another attack, couple mines in the front, doing a lot of work. Zealots are just running and gunning for it. Carriers in the sky. I think he's got 9 now or something. 8. Make it 8. I think one of them died just earlier. So yeah, we've got 8 carriers in the sky. The Zealots have done their job, and that is to just run it through the front door and take down whatever they can by getting close to it, because mines explode and tanks hit their own stuff. Now the carriers are coming in to finish it up. They're coming in to finish the job. Just goes in, focuses on the turrets, because nothing can shoot up into the sky except turrets and Goliaths. The Goliaths who spawn, so the Goliaths are the next target. And I think he's got level 2 attack almost finished up for these carriers. Actually, it's already finished up. 2 attack, 1 shield, 1 armor. The upgrades are pretty damn good. We're only 12 minutes in. And he's taking everything down. The turrets are the big problem for Brain at the moment. He's building a new wall, placing new mines. There's only 3 tanks on the low ground and about 5 vultures, make it 6 to defend the front, as Zealots do. They try to make their way in there, but the Zealots, there's not enough of them to really put a dent into this defense. Actually, I was wrong. The vultures died to a mine. So yeah, now the Zealots are a problem. Carriers getting target fired there by the Goliaths. 2 of them, or maybe even more of them, went down. How many are left? I see 3 carriers still remaining there in the base. That's not a lot of carriers, but it's enough, because Kuangai is, as I said before, at about half the supply of where Brain is at. He's just going to keep on sending in units, keep on sending in carriers. Brain is really making this look like he's not really trying. It's a great build order, though. Like, this build order really functions and hinges on the fact that Kuangai played on a single command center right in all of the vision that Brain had, with a double pylon in his base blocking his stuff. Kuangai made some terrible choices in the early game, and Brain just took it and turned it into an easy victory. Very easy victory. That's game number 1 between these 2 players, and let's give a point to Brain. Let's do a second game. You know what? Let's do a second game. This one was pretty short, and I haven't really made a video in a couple of days, so you know what? A second game, we gotta do it. We need a second game in here. So Kuangai against Brain, game number 2, in the second series between these 2 players, where one of these 2 players is out for revenge. I said it before, I'm not gonna reveal and spoil the results of the previous set between these 2, but maybe based on a couple of things that I've already said, you can maybe piece together and form your conclusion. Kuangai again on the Terran, Brain on the Zerg. I love watching Zerg by Brain. It's an interesting one. He really focuses very hard on information gathering and using that information to his advantage and progressing his technology rather rapidly. Some other players who are very good at Zerg in 1v1 on fastest map, like Burger Sasu. Burger Sasu focuses on production, macro, being hella fast with his production and his growth. Less so focused on his technology. He likes using cheap basic units to maximum effectiveness and efficiency. Whereas you've got a player like Gensei who will just take massive risks to try and get himself into a good position or to just end the game very quickly. Whereas a player like Biol plays a lot more like Brain with a focus on information gathering, using the information and progressing technology with some really good micro and planning. So all of these top level players on Zerg, on fastest map 1v1, have their own distinct playstyles. And I think Brains is maybe the most difficult one, but maybe also one of the most effective ones. And that is in part because he is basically a professional level player. Like literally, the guy has played in professional tournaments. He is one of the few professional players. Like Biol is another one, and there's Levi Top, who was also a professional player, and Duram, almost also a professional player. They've all played in the highest level tournaments at some point in time. And from those 4 players I just named, Brain has had the most success making it into the top 12, whereas all the others kind of just stranded without a single win in the top 28. Top 28. Which is like, about half of the top 12. So he knows that it's Zerg against Terran, so he builds the hatchery very far away. If the enemy is Protoss, you want to build the hatchery right here to build a functional wall in the front. If the enemy is Zerg, you want the hatchery further away, Terran. If the enemy is Terran, you want the hatchery further to the back, because you want the hatchery to survive for as long as possible against a tank push. So you build it further away, out of tank range, and have the Sunkens up in the front. Against Protoss, hatchery right there, Sunkens on the side to build a wall. So that explains why the hatchery is all the way there in the back, instead of all the way in the front. Zerglings coming in to attack Kuangai. Kuangai went for a factory build order, the exact same build order as last time, and you know what? This build order is very weak to early Zergling harassment. He has to cancel the factory, and that is terrible news for Kuangai. Now the Vulture is out, and Vultures can keep running away from Zerglings pretty much until the end of time. You shouldn't lose a single Vulture against Zerglings. You shouldn't, unless the Zerglings have speed and your Vulture does not have speed. But otherwise, if they both don't have upgrades, Vultures should be running away easily with control, patrol, micro without a problem. So it gets 3 more factories. We have a second refinery coming up there from Kuangai. Not sure if I agree with the very fast second factory. It's really going to decimate his economy. Because look at this. He's got 3 SCVs building factories. He's got 3 SCVs mining gas. So he already only has about 10 SCVs mining minerals. And soon he's going to move another 3 SCVs to the gas to even reduce that number of mining SCVs to an even lower amount. So he will not really be able to produce from these 4 factories and progress his technology and his economy properly, because it just costs him too much minerals. Like, he has almost no minerals coming into the bank. Look at this. Well, now he's got 12, but it's not great. It's not great. It's not great, honestly. So we have one, exactly as I said before. One Sunken very far in the front. He's going to build like a wall right there of Sunkens to keep the enemy out. Hatchery very far in the back. Another Sunken behind the one in the front, so that he has to siege and unsiege to progress forward. So he has a very fast lair. We got a Hylas Den for lurker upgrade. Finds a tank in the middle. Tank will die. It's trying to run away, but no. The Vulture's coming in there though, and they will snipe the Hylasks. And these Hylas were actually intended to be turned into lurkers. But the fact that 3 Hylasks killed a tank is a great pickup for Brain. And now Brain, knowing he killed the first tank, can safely add on more hatcheries because he knows the push from Kuangai has been delayed way too much. Like, it's all vultures. It's all vultures. There's a tank. Very slow second tank. Much slower than it should have been because he made a round of vultures before the tank. The tank is on the way, but it's slow. He lost only 3 Hylisks, but what the Hylisks got for him is way more important than the 3 Hylisks themselves. So he's getting a lot of hatchers in the back, getting more gas, getting more drones. He's moving out into the middle, trying to snipe the tank. He's moving the Hylisks there to the side. So he pushed the vultures and tanks away with the Zerglings to allow the Hylisks there to move to the side without Kuangai seeing it happening. So that's the point. Getting these Hylisks out of his base without Kuangai noticing. Now Kuangai is putting mines on the mill, so the lurkers might still run into the mines. Or just maybe Brain is gonna use this Overlord with Overlord Transportation, which I don't think he has because he's getting Overlord speed first. Oh, no, he's just gonna run for it. He's just gonna run right in there. Oh, very close. The mine almost exploded there on the lurker. It's gonna... Okay, he cannot get in. The vultures and the tanks are gonna keep the lurkers away. He's not gonna get in there. He's sending in a bunch of Zerglings, but nope. Kuangai should be safe. Kuangai moving himself to a defensive position was definitely the correct choice. And Brain recognizes that, okay, I'm not gonna be able to get in there. My lurkers and Zerglings will probably die. This one stays alive barely. That one also stays alive fully. Has to unsiege, move away a little bit. But Brain recognizes that this attack attempt, even though it has achieved a purpose of keeping Kuangai contained in his base, forcing him to wait for a vessel and for a scan, it has bought him a lot of time. He can now grow his economy comfortably, grow bigger and stronger, already on 41 drones against 34 SCV there from Kuangai. Kuangai is now on 4 gas, which is a lot of gas, but he could do on 3 gas, to be honest, with what he has at the moment. So 1 armory, second commencer. The second commencer is definitely a little bit too late. Factory number 5 on the way, and he's going to get number 6, or is he going to build turrets on the corner? Lurkers are still there. He's got more Zerglings on the middle. The mines are still there, so he knows the mines. I think Brain knows about the mines, or maybe he does not. Okay, cleans them out. He cleans them out. Putting units on the sides to maybe see vessels and dropships leaving the base. He's assuming something is going to happen. Vessel arrives in the front, kills the 2 lurkers, so that signals to Brain he's going to have to start making some units, because this here on the middle will die pretty quick if these tanks arrive on time. We have a hive on the way. It's almost finished up. He's going to have to get at the father mount very quick as well. Vultures find that there's only 2 Sunkens. He's gonna run in there. He runs in there, but we do have some defensive units there from Brain. So the vultures wouldn't really kill too much. Lurkers are morphing, got some Hylids, got some Zerglings. He has triple upgrade on the way for Carapace on all the ground units. Hylids attack and Zergling attack. The front here dies really quick. It dies really, really quick. Will Brain be adequately equipped to fight this? Yeah, he will be. He will be. Like, because he made so many hatcheries just earlier, because he sped up his economy and his growth, he can definitely produce, in like the next 30 seconds, enough units to counter this. Definitely can. He's getting no Defiler Mound. He's going to rely on Hylisks and Zerglings with speed and attack upgrade to just run this over. And I think it will work. I think it will work because it goes in right now, and there's a lot of Zerglings there. Tank is sieging up. The medics there in the front. Lurker in the middle of everything. Lurker in the middle of everything goes down. Zerglings are on top of everything. The Hylos are jumping on the tanks. Okay, he's gonna lose that army anyway. He's gonna lose that army. It was not enough. I thought it would be a little bit better than this, but the tanks still sieged up in the back provided so much damage on the Zerglings and the Hylos that he did not do enough damage. But he has another wave of units on the way. And Kuangai currently only has 6 factories finished up. Number 7, 9, and 10 on the way. Actually, number 7 just finished up. 8. Number 8. So radiates there on the lurker. Spreading out those units to both sides. Supply counts are once again about the same. I think Kuangai should probably place some mines pretty far in the front of his tanks to function as a barrier for his tanks, but he's not placing mines at the moment. He's putting the vultures in the front, vessels moving forward. This might actually be a victory for Kuangai if he manages to get another round of units to the front before this attack happens, but no, the attack happens, and I think this time around, Brain is gonna be the one coming out on top. The lurker's moving very far forward. Tanks in the front all going down, so the vultures do as well. Gets on top of everything there in the back. Too many units for Brain survived. Kuangai is now in actual trouble. He's in actual trouble. The D-Matrix does buy him a lot of time, but that a lot of time is not enough. It's not enough. He has to retreat. He has to retreat. He does have a nice number of factories as we speak. Mines are being placed. We have overlords on the scene. The mines do still explode on the Zerglings there though, because Zerglings are melee. Fighters in the mix in between. He is level 1-1 on the ground units there for... Yeah, 1-1 on those ground units for Brain. The tanks are currently on level 1 attack. Level 2 attack almost finished up. He cleans up the attack. Radiates happening there on Brain, but Brain burrows up just on time. The vessels make their escape there to the left side of the map. We have the filer mount getting consumed. There's a lot more hatcheries now. Still a very small economy though, like 41 drones. His economy is pretty tiny. Rogue is in the front, burrowing up. Will he arrive on time to kill this before we get consumed there on the choke point? It's a race against the clock. Consume is almost done. Consume is done. Where is the defiler? Where is the defiler? It's still on the way somewhere. Still in production. If he only moved forward with the vessels, he could kill the lurkers before the defilers arrived on the scene. He just doesn't know. He just doesn't know. The defiler is ready to go. Goes forward slowly but surely. If he can get these under the dark swarm, this will be a done deal. There they are. Guts in there. There's 4 still alive. Big mine explosions there on the Zerglings, but there's so many of them. So many Zerglings marching across the map. Tanks all going down. Vultures are the only last line of defense. Radiators are in the base. Burrows it up. Keeps most of the drones alive. Valkyrie coming in to kill some overlords. That should be kind of annoying. But he goes across the map. Zerglings are in the base. There's not a lot of tanks there in the front. We got a couple of vultures, but the vultures shouldn't be enough to kill this. Oh no, it's not going to be enough. Look at this stream of units coming from across the map. The fighters in between. Lurker staying back. Lurker staying back. But a vessel going for the radiator there. On those drones to try and kill them to shut down the economy. If he can shut down the economy, there probably still is not a chance for him to survive. There probably is not a chance because this looks like a game-ending push from Brain. Mass Zerglings coming from across the map. Yeah, this is an overpowering force. Too many. Supply difference is like 40. When you as Terran fall behind the supply on a Zerg, it is a done deal. It's GG, it's over. You're not gonna survive. Yeah, Brain played it pretty well, but I gotta admit that Kuangai did not play that optimally. It was not optimal. Brain was given a lot of liberty to do as he pleases. Also notice this, only 3 gas, only 44 drones in total mining stuff. He played this with a pure focus on technology and Zerglings, a lot of Zerglings. He did not stall at the game. He was just like, I'm gonna end you as soon as I can and try as many times as I can, because it did take him a couple attempts. It took him like 4 attempts to really break in there and decisively turn the game in his favor and kill Kuangai. So far, Kuangai has not been able to take a win of Brain, which is different from what we saw last time. Last time, it was a little bit different than this, but yeah, Kuangai does seem to be quite a strong Terran player, but against a player like Brain, his Terran just does not seem to be strong enough to keep up with Brain. Brain's optimization, his thoughtful approach, his very smart approach to the game, just seems to be on a level above what Kuangai's Terran can handle. Well, that's the first 2 games. We'll continue on with game number 3 in the next video. We'll see you around whenever I upload that video. See you soon.